of you. This book has been brought to you by the Trust and was made possible by the tireless efforts of Maharaja Sahab and Pandit Kamal Kishore Sharma. It is published by Motilal Banarsi Das. The Trust was formed in 1846 by the founder of the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, Maharaja Gulab Singh Ji. The main objective of the Trust was to safeguard our ancient Hindu shrines, temples, manuscripts, and in general, Sanatan Dharma. Despite operating in challenging environments, our Trust continues to fulfill these objectives to the best of our efforts. Once again, I welcome you all on this occasion. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the Honorable Vice President for being kind enough to host this event at his residence. Namaskar.
The Hindi translation of Dr. Karan Singh's text, as well as the transliteration of the Sanskrit text, has been done by Shri Kamal Kishore Mishra. I now invite Shri Kamal Kishore Mishra to introduce the book.
परम आदरणीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय जी, परम श्रद्धेय गुरुदेव पद्म विभूषण डॉक्टर करण सिंह जी तथा डोगरा राजवंश के माननीय परिजन, सम्माननीय देवियों और सज्जनों, बौद्धिक भौगोलिक दृष्टि से विराट जम्मू और कश्मीर आदि शंकराचार्य, अभिनव गुप्त, कलहण जैसे मनीषियों की ज्ञान और कर्म भूमि रही है। ब्रह्मांड के दिव्य नर्तन भगवान शंकर तथा डोगरा राजवंश के कुल देवता श्री रघुनाथ जी के आशीर्वाद से महाराजा रणबीर सिंह जी ने 19वीं शताब्दी के उत्तरार्ध में जिस महती कार्य को प्रारंभ किए थे, वो विश्व की ज्ञान परंपरा में भारतीय अवदान को प्रशस्त करते हैं। महाराजा रणबीर सिंह जी के समय उनके राज्यकाल में रुडोल्फ रॉथ, ब्यूलर, ऑरियलस्टाइन जैसे प्रसिद्ध इंडोलॉजिस्ट, पैलियोग्राफिस्ट, एपिग्राफिस्ट ने राज्य में भ्रमण कर स्थानीय विद्वानों से परिचर्चा करते रहे। दुर्लभ पांडुलिपियों को संग्रह करवाना महाराजा साहब की अभिरुचि और दूरदृष्टि को परिचय कराती है। अंततः इसका बहुत विशाल और अद्भुत संग्रह तैयार हो गया और समय के साथ इसमें वृद्धि होती चली गई। भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा में मत, अभिमत, खंडन, मंडन, सिद्धि और संवाद की परंपरा का महत्वपूर्ण स्थान है। इन पांडुलिपियों में मूल संस्कृत पर वृत्ति, वार्तिक, भाष्य, टीका, दीपिका, प्रदीपिका इत्यादि लिखने की अत्यंत समृद्ध बौद्धिक परंपरा रही है। इस संस्थान को रणबीर संस्कृत रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट के नाम से आज पहचान मिली, जो विश्व के बौद्धिक जगत में एक महत्वपूर्ण स्थान रखता है। इसी अद्भुत विशाल संग्रह से मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स को चयन करके 11 खंडों में श्रीमद् भगवद गीता को तैयार किया गया, जिसका लोकार्पण महाराजा साहब के 91वें जन्मदिन पर 2021 में परम आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने उसका लोकार्पण किया था। 92वें जन्मदिन पर 2022 में 3 वॉल्यूम्स में कैटलॉग को प्रकाशित किया गया, जिसकी शुरुआत सर ऑलियनस्टाइन ने 1894 में किया था। उसके बाद 1971 में, 72 में और 84 में डेक्कन कॉलेज पूना से पाटकर जी ने उसको संग्रह किया था। और यह मेरा सौभाग्य है कि इस कार्य के दायित्व को पूरा करने का मुझे 2003 में मुझे अवसर प्राप्त हुआ। और अब 2023 आज के दिन 93वें जन्मदिन पर मुंडक उपनिषद का विमोचन माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी आपके कर कमलों से संपन्न हो रहा है। मुंडक हम सब के लिए ये परम सौभाग्य की बात है। मुंडक का अर्थ मुंडन या मस्तिष्क को अत्यधिक शक्ति प्रदान करने वाला है। इस पर विशेष प्रकाश माननीय डॉक्टर साहब से हम सभी थोड़ी देर में लाभान्वित होंगे। इसका महत्व इस तथ्य से प्रकाशित होता है कि हमारे भारतवर्ष का राष्ट्रीय आदर्श वाक्य इसी मुंडक उपनिषद के सर्वज्ञात मंत्र से है। सत्यमेव जयते नानृतम सत्येन पंथा विततो देवयान। यहाँ 6 पांडुलिपियों को संग्रहित किया गया है। आदि शंकराचार्य के भाष्य, कमेंट्री, भाष्य टिप्पण सेपरेट और नारायण पंडित की दीपिका को हमने यहाँ पर संग्रह किया है। अंग्रेजी ट्रांसलेशन और कमेंट्री अपने आप में एक चुनौतीपूर्ण कार्य है। साधारणतया इंग्लिश में शास्त्रीय भाष्य लिखने की परंपरा कम ही देखने को मिलती है, लेकिन ऑनरेबल डॉक्टर साहब की रुचि ने इस चुनौतीपूर्ण कार्य को हृदय से स्वीकार किया और अंततः इसे अद्भुत रूप में प्रस्तुत कर दिया। भारत की ज्ञान परंपरा, the highest thought of our country, civilization and Indian intellectual tradition is being brought out in this particular publication with the thought-provoking bhasya commentary by Honorable Dr. Sahab. उनकी साधना, उनका चिंतन, उनका अभिधान का यह परिचायक है। यहाँ पर मैं थोड़ा सा एक पासिंग रेफरेंस दे रहा हूँ। मैसूर के रॉयल पुस्तकालय के क्यूरेटर डॉक्टर श्याम शास्त्री 1904 में अचानक उन्हें, जब वो मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट को देखते थे, तो एक पांडुलिपि मिली और उस पर उन्होंने 1904 में लिखा, 1909 में लिखा और 15 में लिखा। तब पता चला पूरे संसार को कि कौटिल्य नाम की कोई चीज है। पहली बार कौटिल्य के अर्थशास्त्र को 100 साल पहले श्याम शास्त्री जी ने लाया था। इसी तरह मुझे लगता है कि श्री रणवीर संस्कृत रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट के विशाल संग्रह में न जाने कितने अनमोल रत्न हैं जो पूरे विश्व की बौद्धिकता को नई ऊर्जा और पहचान देने का सामर्थ्य रखते हैं। भारत माँ की श्रेष्ठता की सिद्धि में इनकी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका हो सकती है। यह हमारे देश का सौभाग्य है कि जम्मू कश्मीर के डोगरा राजवंश में महाराजा साहब के नेतृत्व में इन दुर्लभ अमूल्य पांडुलिपियों को संग्रहित, संरक्षित और संवर्धित किया है। जबकि यह मेरा परम सौभाग्य है कि गुरुदेव डॉक्टर साहब डॉक्टर कर्ण सिंह जी का आशीर्वाद और उनके समस्त परिजनों का विशेष स्नेह मिला है, जिसके परिणाम स्वरूप पांडुलिपि विद्या के अनमोल रत्नों को विश्व के समक्ष प्रस्तुत करने में हम सक्षम हो पाए हैं। डॉक्टर साहब के 93वें जन्मदिन पर आदरणीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी, आपका जो अनुग्रह हम लोगों को मिल रहा है वो हमारे मार्ग को प्रशस्त और सशक्त करेगा। अंत में 120 वर्षों से संस्कृत प्राच्य विद्या के प्रसिद्ध प्रकाशक मोतीलाल बनारसी दास के श्री राजेंद्र प्रकाश जैन और वरुण जैन ने पूरे मनोयोग से इसका प्रकाशन किया है। अंत में आप सब दिव्य जनों के अंतःस्थल में स्थित जगत जननी जानकी जी और श्री रघुनाथ जी को बारंबार प्रणाम करते हुए डॉक्टर साहब की उद्बोधन का हम सब श्रवण करेंगे। नमस्कार, धन्यवाद।
Dr. Karan Singh needs no introduction. However, it is my honor and privilege to introduce Sir with a few brief words. Dr. Karan Singh is truly a multifaceted personality. He is a statesman, author, educationist, and environmentalist. He has been a member of both houses of parliament during his long, distinguished public life and has held several key portfolios as a cabinet minister in the government of India. He has traveled widely and has written several books exploring diverse themes and subjects. He was elected to the Rajya Sabha in the year 2000 and has served as the chairman of its ethics committee. Dr. Karan Singh has been associated with the Jammu and Kashmir University, the Jawaharlal Nehru University, and the Banaras Hindu University as their chancellor. He has also been a key driving force in promoting Indian culture abroad. Sir has been awarded with the Padma Vibhushan in Public Affairs in the year 2005, and in the year 2011 has been conferred with the Outstanding Parliamentarian Award instituted by the Indian Parliamentary Group. Sir, I now request you to address the audience.
Om Bhadram Karnevi Shinuyam Deva Bhadram Pashyemaksha Vijayatra Sthirairangai Sushuvag Rastanu Bhivyashem Devahitam Yadayu Swastina Indro Vridashava Swastina Pusha Vishwaveda Swastina Staraksho Arishtanemi Swastino Brihaspati Dadatu Om Shanti Shanti. Sri Jagdeep Dhankar, Mr. Secretary, and family and friends gathered in this very historic residence. I remember coming here way back when Dr. Radhakrishnan was Vice President. That would be back in 1950 when Rajan Babu became President and he became Vice President. And so many times after that, Dr. Zakir Hussain and others, great scholars, been there. And now my good friend Jagdeep Dhankar has been kind enough when the suggestion came that this book be released. He said, "Hamare ghar mein karna hai." Thank you very much for your hospitality. I think he deserves a round of applause. We live, friends, in an age of great turmoil and transition, when the old is collapsing and the new is struggling to be born. And we are caught between a disappearing past and an uncertain future. At a time like this, we go back to our Shastras, to our classics, not in order to go backwards in time. You can never go backwards in time. Whatever golden age they may or may not have been, that is past. Chareviti, Vedas tell us to move forwards. But to see what inspiration we can get from these texts, which gives us the strength, the intelligence, and the confidence to move boldly into the future. And India has a huge array of sacred texts. Lankarji, I don't think any religion in the world has the sheer corpus of texts in Sanskrit that we have. There are the Vedas, of course. I started with the Vedic verse. Then there are the Brahmanas, which are Karam Kand, and then there are Aranyakas, and then there are the Upanishads. The Upanishads, to my mind, are the high watermark not only of Indian but of world philosophy. They are a series of dialogues. Please recall that the Indic religions are dialogic religions. Question answer. That is why we have this tradition. You see, the Abrahamic religions are revealed religions. There's a text, it's revealed, there it is. You can't ask any questions. But here, for example, this very Mundaka Upanishad has a great question. Shaunaka, a great householder, goes and asks, you know what he asks, Lankari? Kasminu bhavo vigyate sarvamedam vigyate bhavati. What is that by knowing which everything becomes known? What a tremendous question. I mean, to ask a question like that itself is an act of genius. And then the Guru replies higher Vidya. I'm not going into that in detail, but I'm making the point that the Upanishads are dialogues. So is the Gita, later, much later than the Upanishads, is a dialogue. And these dialogues are spread over perhaps 1,000 years. If you fly from here to Calcutta, as you must have done on many occasions, you will see the great Himalayas. If you look upon the Vedas as the Himalayas, Himalaya, what has Kalidas described? In Kumara Sambhava opening verse, Astutarasyam dishi devatatma Himalayonam nagavirajya purva parotoya nidhi bhagaya sthitaha prithibhya vamana. It is like a measuring rod to gauge the greatness of the world. When you fly, you see there many mountain peaks. Right from if you start right from the beginning, then there's the Shura until you get to Kanchenjunga. Now, the Upanishads are like those mountain peaks, based on the Vedas, growing up from the Vedas, but those dialogues between gurus and shishyas, sitting on the banks of a lake or in the forest hermitage, they ask questions, sharp questions. Why are we here? What is the meaning of our life? Who impels us to move? So these questions are asked and answered in the Upanishads. There are a large number of Upanishads, 11 principal Upanishads there are, I won't go into the great details of that because this is not a discourse on the Upanishad. But I just want to say that this is the high water mark. And if I may, I'm going to try and place before you the basic concepts of the Upanishads. Two concepts have to be grasped. The first is the concept of the all-pervasive Brahman. Everywhere, not only the speck of dust that we call planet Earth, but the billions and billions of galaxies in the unending universe around us are all permeated by, are all illuminated by the same divine force, known as the Brahman. Then the second major concept is the reflection or the spark, if you like, of that divine force in every human being, that is the Atma. So the Brahman, the all-pervasive Brahman, and the Atman within each human being, those are two basic concepts. And the whole point of our spiritual endeavor is to join these two. How do we join or rejoin the Atman with the Brahman? And what is the process of joining? Yoga. The word yoga comes from the same root as the English word yoke, to join. Yoga is to join. So the whole philosophy and technology of yoga is the joining of the two. Now, there are four main parts to join, as you are very well aware. The first is the Jnana Yoga, the way of the mind. The discrimination between the real and the unreal, Satasat Viveka. We not only see what is before us, we try and see what is behind it. Plato says that we are in a cave, and all we see are shadows on the wall of the cave. We neither see the objects nor the light behind them. So trying to see what is the reality behind this constantly changing cosmos, because the world changes. Samsarati iti samsara. The definitions of samsara is that which changes. But what is the reality behind it? The Jnana Yoga is a way of reflection, of reading the text and trying to clarify the mind. Jnana Yoga. The second is the Bhakti Yoga. That is the way of the heart. Unless the heart opens in love and devotion and dedication to whatever form of the divine you choose, it won't work. You can't fire one engine. You need the emotions also. You have to fall in love with the divine. Unless there is love, unless your emotions are working, you are only working up in the head. It's not good enough. So the Bhakti Yoga, that is why we have such an array of gods and goddesses, and people are bewildered when they ask me, how do you have so many? They are not different gods and goddesses. They are different forms of the same Brahman. I tell my Muslim friends, they ask me, इतनी देवी देवता, मैंने कहा आपके 99 नाम हैं अलग है, वो 99 नाम मानते हैं, हम 99 रूप मानते हैं ब्रह्मन के, ये फर्क है. Some you can worship with a form, you can worship without a form. It can be a male, it can be a female, it can be Shiva, it can be Shakti, it can be Krishna. Any form that Krishna, Christ, is a very powerful form of meditation. So the Bhakti Yoga is the second yoga. The Jnana Yoga is the way of the mind, the Bhakti Yoga is the way of the heart. The Karma Yoga is the way of the arms. The Upanishads also stress, Kurvani viha karmani, jivhet shatam samaha, evam toina netetosti, na karma lipyate nare. Ishavasya, the second line is Karma Yoga. Because we all have to do something, we can't sit. We may have a cottage in Kashmir, but we can't sit there all the time. Because we've got to get back into Delhi. Delhi pulls you back. Once you're in Delhi, you can never leave Delhi. So the thing is that you can have a cottage, but you can't live there. So the Karma Yoga, we've got to do something. Everybody has got to do something. Everybody in this room is either a lawyer or a journalist or a thinker or a writer or something. You've got to do something. Now, Gita gives us a very good key to Karma Yoga. Yata pravritti bhutanam yen sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tamabhyarta siddhim binditi manam. That force which permeates the entire universe, by worshipping that through your work, man meets towards perfection. Not every yoga is Karma Yoga. दुष्ट कर्म करो तो दो योग नहीं है. Karma is yoga, work dedicated to the divine. And that is the mantra. Once you dedicate everything to the divine, then you know you can't do anything wrong. Because the moment you do anything wrong, you say, how can I dedicate this to Lord Shiva? मैं शिव जी का भक्त हूँ, यत यत करो करोमि तत् तत् अखिलम शंभो तवाराधन. So if I have to do anything, I got to think, मैं गलत तो नहीं कर रहा, how can I put this before Shiva? So karma yoga is action, daksha, shutir daksha. It should be efficient, it should be effective, and it should be dedicated to the divine. So jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, karma yoga, raja yoga, the way of the breath. The breath is the most important thing, Dhankadi. When we are born, we breathe, start breathing, and we breathe literally until our last breath. But do we ever look at our breath? Do we ever consider our breath? Have you ever sat quietly and just watch yourself breathe? Or do we just breathe? Everybody breathes, you know, big bhadri in breathing. Question, how do you breathe? Do you look into yourself when you are breathing? कोई ध्यान करते हैं, do you do some mudras? What do you do when you breathe? So the breath itself can become a powerful engine for salvation and for joining the Atman and the Brahma. There are Raja Yoga is a huge science. There is the science of the Kundalini Shakti within us. I can't even begin to go into all of that. But suffice to say that within our own body there are powers, there are capacities which if we develop can take us to a higher consciousness. So these four yogas, the Jnana Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Karma Yoga and the Raja Yoga, between them constitute the methodology of joining the Atman and the Brahma. That said, there are 2 or 3 points extra I want to say if I may with your permission. Ekam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. The truth is one, the wise call it by many names. That is why Hinduism is so the only religion in the world perhaps that accepts multiple paths to the divine. We don't say this is only the path you must go. If a Christian would come to me and say, I say, you be a good Christian, don't bother about becoming a Hindu. But use your religion to go upwards. So this Ekam Sat is a key concept of our civilization. We accept multiple paths to the divine. I can say my path is the best for me. But you don't follow my path, therefore I can blow you up or cut your throat. That is not acceptable. I mean, even in this world today, there are still fanatic religious people who try and force people into their own ways. It doesn't work. It will not work in India. Hinduism is a pluralistic religion. India is a pluralistic country. Unless we accept multiple paths to the divine Dhankarji, how are we going to move? How are we going to run this society? We must never get into a situation of confrontation. We did it once and we paid the price. 1947. It was the great triumph of independence. What about the tragedy of partition? वो सब भूल गए. 1 crore people were uprooted from their houses. Lakhs of people were killed on both sides. What about that price we paid? So we must never fall into the trap of, we must remember again always the syncretic nature of our culture. You know, I'm doing, I don't know any of you are hearing it or not, I'm doing a program for Sansad TV. आप ही की टीवी है वो. आपको शायद बताया नहीं होगा उन्होंने, नहीं तो आप सुन लेते. I'm कर रहा हूँ मैं आजकल. I'm anchoring a program called Ekam Sat. It comes on Sansad TV. And we have presented all the great religions of India. People from those religions, I anchor them and they speak. In fact, we have a mini rabbi here. जैसे mini pandit है, ऐसे mini rabbi भी है. So mini rabbi कहता people didn't even know that there were Jews in India until your program. So what I'm trying to say is that we must strengthen the pluralistic nature of our society. So that is, the key is Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahudha. The next point is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. You hear it all the time. Ayam Nija Paro Veti Gananam Laguchetasam Udara Charitanam to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This is mine, that is yours, is a small and narrow way of looking at reality. Udara Charitanam, for those of the higher consciousness, Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam. The world itself is a family. What a great concept. Thousands of years ago, when you couldn't move more than 10 miles a day on foot, our seers realized that in the ultimate analysis, humanity has to look upon itself as a family. Otherwise, we're destroying ourselves. We tried in the League of Nations, we tried in the United Nations. Look what's happening today. There are fratricidal wars going on in the world. So we have to accept where nationalism is there, certainly. But Dhankadi is interesting. Rabindranath Tagore, Sri Aurobindo, both ultimately transcended nationalism. Even Sri Aurobindo, the great prophet of Indian nationalism, ultimately said nationalism will have run its course, we must have human unity. So, however idealistic this may appear, this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is a great concept. I'm very glad we are using that now for the G20s. And I must compliment Prime Minister Modi, also by the way complimented for yoga, because the Raja Yoga, that the yoga has now been popularized around the world for international yoga day, is only a very small part. It's a Hatha Yoga. But don't worry if you can't stand on your head. As I always used to say, the capacity to stand on your head is not a condition precedent for illumination. Even if you can't stand on it, doesn't matter. So therefore, this, the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is a great concept. We've got to keep it. You know, every person loves his country. I was at the Suchesgarh border the other day. My sons have been there. And I was here, and one step there, that was Pakistan. तो हमारी भूमि पवित्र है तो एक स्टेप से पवित्र कैसे हो जाती है? You see, if you come to think of it rationally, the whole world is supposed to be one. The Gaia concept, the world is, and because we don't treat the world as one, that is why we are facing what we are facing today. Hurricanes, earthquakes, disasters. Nature, earth is hitting back. If we misbehave with the earth, the earth will one day hit back, and is hitting back already. आप देख ही रहे हैं. And the final point I want to make is, बहुजन सुखाय बहुजन हिताय. ये सब उपनिषद के वाक्य हैं ये. The welfare of the many, the happiness of the many. What better definition of communism? I was speaking on my Rajya Sabha last speech, and my friend D. Raja was there. I said, Raja, you're a communist. Can you think of a better definition? Sarve pi sukhina santu, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashchitu bhag bhavet. May all beings be healthy, may all beings be happy, may no one have to undergo suffering. What greater communism can there be? So that we must not forget that. We must not forget that Bahujan Sukhaya Bahujan Hita. Even today, Ankarji, I'm ashamed to say, if you like, I have seen India grow from its birth. I'm older than the Republic, by the way. So I've seen the Republic. I'm not impressed by 75 years. But I've seen from Jawaharlal Nehru to Narendra Bhai Modi, every Prime Minister I've seen, everybody has tried to remove poverty. Not yet. Crores of people, even today in India, shiver in the winter, drenched in the monsoon, sweat in the summer because they have nowhere to live. Crores of children in Dhankadi, even today, are malnourished and do not get enough inputs so that their bodies and minds are warped. Is it not a disgrace and a shame that after 75 years and all that everybody has done, every Prime Minister has done, we have not got there? So if we have to have a goal for 2000, for our centenary, it has to be the abolition of absolute poverty. I mean, it's incredible how people can live in those situations. So Bahujana Sahib, when Vivekananda founded the Ramakrishna Mission, he gave them one simple mantra: Atmana Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya. Work for the welfare of your soul, but also for the welfare of society. These concepts, I suggest, Dhankarji, if taken together, these Vedantic concepts, which are reflected in the Mundaka and other Upanishads, they give us an alternative viewpoint to the present highly combative and exploitative systems. An alternative worldview based upon happiness, based upon love, based upon non-violence, and based upon peace. So that, to my mind, Mr. Duncan, Vice President, is a message of you. Thank you.
Sir, thank you so much for your enlightening words. May I now request Honorable Vice President Shri Jagdeep Dhankar ji to release Dr. Karan Singh's book on the Mundaka Upanishad.
Heart release. This is it. नहीं मैं कर रहा हूँ इसको कर लो
I now request the Honorable Vice President of India to address the audience.
Very frankly, I do not possess the credentials to perform the duty I am doing at the moment. Ever since I became a member of Parliament in 1989, it was my dream come true when I came to interact physically, not virtually, with Dr. Saab at India International Center. Never ever thought in my life I will be so privileged, honored, to secure a moment ever to cherish that I'll be doing what I have done a while ago. Distinguished author, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Karan Singh, his family members, members of the trust, distinguished friends, and his admirers. Sri Sunil Kumar Gupta, Secretary to the Honorable Vice President of India. Friends, at the outset, I join you all and many more across the globe in wishing Dr. Karan Singh a very happy birthday as he enters 93rd year. Dr. Singh enters 93rd year of an eventful life